All right, friends, I'm out here on my porch because I'm excited to show you guys all that we did out here. Whenever we decided to build a home here on our farm, we knew that we wanted a really big front porch and back porch. We are big outside people. We love to eat outside. We like to hang out outside. The kids love to play outside. And I really wanted a home that had this like inside outside feel, where when the weather is nice, I could have doors open and the kids could be outside on the porches doing whatever they want to do. And so that was something that was really important to us. Now, when we first moved in, it was winter, and so we were working on all kinds of things inside. And as soon as the weather started warming up, we got really excited about getting outside and working on these porches. We have been using them and having a great time on them since we moved in, but we haven't had them like set up perfectly for our family. We knew we needed some furniture on here so we could come out and sit and relax and eat and all of the things. So we had a lot of work on these to do before we could put furniture out here. I have my phone here with like a list of all the things so I can kind of like walk you through the different things that we did. Again, we meaning my husband. The first thing that we had to do is we had to construct new steps because we wanted to put railings off of our porches. Even though we only have a few steps on our porches, we wanted to have railings going off of them, you know, for safety and also for looks. I think it makes it look really pretty with the railings coming off when I'm driving up and see it. It looks so beautiful, but the steps weren't wide enough. So the first thing my husband had to do was to widen the steps and make, you know, that was a lot of constructing. They had to make new steps and the risers and all the things that go along with making stairs. I don't really know. He did all of that, lots of math involved. And then he was able to construct the railings. Now, because we have identical front and back porches, everything he did, he had to do twice. He started on the back with the steps, and then when he got to the front, he ended up doing something a little bit different. So then he had to come back to the back porch and switch it around back here. So it was a lot of trial and error on his part with like the construction of this. And then after we got the steps and the railing up, we always had these big like they're actually made out of Douglas fir poles on our porch, but I never really loved the trim that was on the top and bottom. It didn't look complete to me, and so he used some leftover Douglas fir that we had from these poles, and he constructed some like little pieces to kind of round off the trim on the bottom and the top into the pole just to make it look a little more subtle. I think it kind of made the poles look more finished. That took him a lot of time, even though it was just a very like small detail. It was a lot of work to get all the right pieces to construct them out of those big blocks of wood, but I think it really added a nice touch to the porch and just made it look more finished. After he finished the poles, we decided it was time to install lighting. When we moved in, we did put some lantern lights on either side of the front door and the back door, but we had openings in the ceiling for 4 lights on the front and the back. So we had to first decide what we wanted. On the back porch, we went with fans because we get some pretty warm weather here and we want to be able to enjoy sitting outside whenever it is hot. I just did some really basic white fans in hopes that they would just kind of blend in with the white ceiling, because I don't necessarily love the looks of fans, but I think they're very practical. Also, because we plan on eating outside, having fans will help to cut down on like bugs and things whenever we're out here, keep all those away. And so we like the fans that we picked and we just put them up. I think they look fine on the back porch, and I think it'll be very practical and super nice during the summer when we're wanting to sit out here. And then on the front porch, we did some bronze lights. They're just like a semi-flush mount. Again, pretty simple. I didn't want anything hanging down too far or anything super elaborate. Again, just kind of something that kind of blends in. They match the same color as the bronze on the lanterns on the side of the door. I like the way they look, and so we installed those. They were very cheap from Home Depot. I I think they were like $18 a light, so very inexpensive. My husband said they were really easy to install, so it was kind of a win-win-win with those lights. Before showing you guys the rest of the porch update, I want to tell you guys about today's video sponsor, Function Health. Function Health is the only health platform that gives you access to the kind of data most people never see and the insights to actually take action. I just completed my first round of blood work with Function, and it was so fast and convenient. They have over 2,000 locations around the US, and it only costs $365 a year, so only $1 a day for so much information to get insights into your health. With Function, you can test over 100 biomarkers, from heart to hormones to stress to inflammation. It can be so helpful for so many different things. You can also access multi-region MRI and CT scans, all tracked in one secured location. It's very organized, easy to see all of your results. And that's why so many top health leaders are behind Function. If you have heard about Function and you are ready to try it out, you can scan my QR code here on the screen, or you can use my link down in the description box below. The first 1,000 people will get a $25 credit towards their membership, or use my code OilyHouse25 to sign up. Thank you again to Function Health for sponsoring today's video. All right, so after doing that, we knew it was time to tackle staining and painting. We do not have good luck with stain. I don't know what our deal is. Every time we pick out stain, it never is the right color. You guys know that we had our doors that we put up, we stained them, they looked extremely red. It's totally our fault. We're not very good at like testing it, and I know every wood takes on stain differently, and our mahogany doors obviously turned more red than we wanted them to. So when we started staining, we got some boards from the porch and from the leftovers of the poles, and we started putting some different colors on them to decide on what stain. I also got my sisters involved to help me with this. So we ended up going with the Minwax natural color on our poles because we liked the color they were already, so we didn't want to really change them much, but we wanted to stain them so that it could protect them against the weather in hopes that they last a lot longer. And then we painted the poles that were under the porch white because we were originally talking about putting some lattice up to block like the underneath of the porch, but then we switched gears and we ended up doing a shiplap board around the porch. My older boys and my husband knocked that out on one day. We just saw it. It was actually something my sister did on her porch, like her very first house long ago. And I saw a picture of it and I liked it, so we went ahead and did that, and then we painted all that shiplap paneling white. Again, I think it was a really good way to make the porch look more finished. And then, you know, nothing like, we're gonna eventually have our chickens, like right now they're like in a different part on our farm, but they're going to be here, and I don't want them like under the porch laying eggs. We'll lose eggs and whatever. So we end up wanting to close off the porch, and so I think the paneling is very practical, and also I think it looks really pretty. We painted it all white to match the baseboards around the porch and the risers on the steps. After we finished the paneling around the bottom of the porch, we decided it was time to tackle the doors. On the day that we did the doors, it was raining super hard. My husband was planning on staining the floor of the porch, but because of the rain, we couldn't do that. So he took the doors down, he sanded them to get as much of the old red stain that we didn't love off of the doors, and then we painted a walnut color over them to darken them and tone down the red. Several of you guys suggested that when I was complaining about my red doors, to try a walnut stain, and it really helped. It still has a red color to it, but it's a deeper brown. They look really pretty. I like the way they turned out, and so we had to do that to the front door, the back door, both sides. My husband did it in our basement because it was raining so much outside, and then we rehung them, and I think they turned out really good. I definitely like this color way better than that really like bright red that they were before. After the doors were finished, we stained the floor of the porch. We ended up going with a golden oak for the color. It just made it look like a basic kind of medium brown color, perfect for a floor. We also did the same color on the railings for the stairs and for the treads for the steps. Kind of tied everything together with our natural reddish color poles and our doors. And then it was time to get to the fun part and add some furniture to our porch. I knew I wanted rocking chairs. I love sitting outside and rocking the babies on the porch, and so I definitely wanted just some basic wooden white rockers. I ended up getting 4 of them. I originally thought that I would put all 4 on the front porch, 2 on one side of the door and 2 on the other side, but then I decided that it would be fun to be able to rock on the front or the back and not have to ever like move things around. So we ended up putting 2 on the front porch and 2 on the back porch, and then I found super cute little wooden rockers that were white on Marketplace for kids, and so I did 2 adult rockers with one like kid one in between it on the front porch and on the back porch. Now on the back porch, I definitely wanted a table because it's right off of our kitchen and our dining room, and like I said, we love to eat outside. It really cuts down on messes. Whenever you can send the kids outside to eat, then the dog can come up and just like lick up the mess off the porch, and I think it's really fun to eat outside whenever the weather's nice. Now eventually we are going to have like a whole like patio sitting area right off the porch after we get our garage done, and so I wasn't exactly sure what kind of table I wanted up here, but we just did the cheapest like picnic table we could find at Lowe's. It was like $130. We stained it a golden oak color, the same color that we did the floors, and then put it on the porch. I don't care if it just lasts one season, it's worth it. And so we'll see, like, I don't know, I'm sure we'll keep it around for a while. It fits perfectly on the porch here. It's a smaller table, so it won't fit our entire family, but we do have more seating back here, and then the baby's height chair can come right out because it's right off the kitchen. And like I said, eventually we'll probably have like a bigger dining room table type outdoor seating either up here on the porch or down in our little like courtyard area that we're going to do whenever we get to that. I'm not really sure when. And so for now, this picnic table works out perfectly. We've already enjoyed several meals out here on it. I know it'll be really fun to have all throughout the rest of the summer and into the fall. I also bought a bench for the front porch, just a simple bench. I think we also got this at Lowe's, and I put it on the other side of the porch, so then we have rocking chairs on both sides and then seating on both sides. I do think it would be really fun to get a porch swing eventually. This is all just things that I think will work perfectly for now. We can always change it. The porches are really big and could even use more furniture than we have, even though we got a bunch. This is a really good start. I'll probably add a porch swing, I don't know, to the front or the back. Either place would be fine at some point, but for now, I think this looks really cute. Then to kind of add a little bit of decoration, we put a rug in front of the front door and 2 big terracotta planters, and I added some big ferns to that. I think ferns are just so traditional and timeless, look beautiful in any spot. I did want to add some hanging baskets, but then I started thinking about all the watering and getting up there all summer with having a new baby, so I skipped the hanging baskets this year. Maybe we'll do that in a different year, but for now I just have my 2 big ferns on either side of the front door. I think they look beautiful, and those will be easier to water. The kids can do it because they're down low. I didn't put any ferns on the back porch because we tend to play more on the back porch, the kids do, and I know my toddler is going to just get into them and be like super annoying with all the dirt and stuff. So I thought for this year, while I have a little toddler running around, I'll just keep them on the front porch so I don't have to deal with that. And then on my picnic table, I got a really cute basket from IKEA. Actually, one of my sisters picked it up for me. And then I added in some mint into that. I think it looks really beautiful. We can use it because it's right off our kitchen. We love adding mint into our drinks during the summertime. And also it smells so good, and it kind of like gives off the scent on the back porch if you're back here. So I thought that was a really fun little touch for the picnic table. So that's the big porch update for now. I cannot wait to landscape around these porches, but I decided that that's going to be something that we're going to wait until next year. We still have a lot of construction to do out here with the garage coming. We hope to break ground for that in the next couple of weeks, I think. I don't know, there's like one more like inside project we're going to be doing. I can't wait to show you. And then I'm going to be doing like a whole house tour, because I think everything besides the pantry and the mudroom will be done. And so I'm going to do like a whole house tour to show you that. And then we plan to come back outside and work on the garage. And then eventually, like probably back when it gets cold again in the winter, we will tackle the mudroom and pantry. And so with all of those things, I know we'll get back into the wintertime, and I don't think we'll have time to landscape this year. But I think next year, when we're not like in the middle of like still constructing and like building our home, it's going to be so fun to kind of think through all of the landscaping, because I have so much space for that, and I'm just so excited to do that. I can't wait to see what this place looks like with all this landscaping. So if you are a landscaper or have ideas for me, drop them in the comments below, because I feel a little bit overwhelmed with thinking about all of the landscaping. I definitely want to do like some paths from the driveway to the front door, the back patio area, all the things, and I want lots of pretty bushes and flowers, and I just love all that. So excited to get to that, hopefully next spring. That's what's really fun about living at your, I say, forever home. If something, I don't like using the word forever, because if something changed, we would have to change our plans, but it is definitely our plan to stay here forever. So it's kind of fun to take things slow, and we can really think through things and know that we will be here next year, God willing. And so there's no rush on getting to things like landscaping. And whenever we're not overwhelmed with building, it'll be really fun to kind of like slowly think through what we want. So if you're here for the long haul, follow along, and I'm sure I'll eventually be showing all of that kind of fun stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, maybe got some inspiration to spruce up your outdoor area, and thank you so much for watching today's video.